What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel again. I'm Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. What we got going on here, this is a 2006 Honda Rebel 250, or the CMX 250C. Now this thing's been setting, I think the guy said about 10, 11 years now. He has stuck a battery in it. He has tried to start it, but man, this thing's a mess. The gas tank is just completely rusted out. He did put new spark plugs in it. What we're gonna do, we're gonna rebuild the carburetor on this thing. We're gonna throw some Evapo Rust into the gas tank and try this out, see how well this works. I usually use like the cream kits you get from Cream. You know, you clean it all out and it etches it and all that stuff, but I don't really like using the cream around the tank because actually over time I've seen those start to fall back off and then it causes issues down the road. So let's take a walk around this thing, show you what's going on. We got a lot of stuff to do to it, and I'll talk about that as we take a little walk around on this 2006 Honda Rebel 250. All right, again, guys, I've said it twice. 2006 Honda Rebel 250, CMX 250C. We got ourselves a brand new rebuild kit from All Balls. Do me a favor when you buy one. I mean, I love All Balls. Go to the website, get their part number, throw it at Amazon. You'll save a few bucks there. From CRC, the Evapo Rust Heavy Duty Rust Remover. We're going to see how well that works inside this gas tank. This gas tank is full of rust. It does have new spark plugs. He does have a, not my favorite battery in it, but a new battery in here. That's like a supercell or something like that, where I could get those. We will be putting new tires on here along with new tubes. We'll go through and check his brakes. We can see those are actually really, really low already. We'll check it all out. We'll make sure the blinkers work, the headlight works. We're gonna have to probably bleed the brakes out in the front. We're gonna try to clean the chain. It's pretty rusty, but it's not in bad shape. Like I said, it was running when he let it set. I don't remember why he said he let it set. We'll make sure the petcock's cleaned out. Again, we're gonna clean and rebuild the carburetor. We'll go through that process. New rear tire. And then we're gonna see if we can't salvage this and just find the license plate lens cover for that. Or we might have to actually get, I think we're gonna have to get a whole new rear one because it's missing the bracket to hold the license plate. You can see I was using this a minute ago to tighten up that bolt to get this thing to stay in place. Now it's on the floor. But anyways, make sure the brake lights work. The brake lights work, the blinkers work, the tail light works, the headlight works, the brakes work. The rear brake, he said, is sticking. You can see I can't even push on that thing and pull back up, so we'll have to pull that off, clean all that up. A lot of that is probably going to be inside of here. It's most likely going to be rusty, so I'll have to take this apart, knock all that out, clean that, lube that, a little bit of grease on there, just a little bit. We don't want it to be able to collect a bunch of crap. And then as far as when it comes to the way I do my carburetors now, I did buy a cheaper version ultrasonic cleaner from Amazon. It does have the Berryman's carb cleaner in it, 5 gallons of that. That stuff's not cheap. I think it was like $226 for 5 gallons or something like that. Now I don't turn it on heat when I put it in my ultrasonic cleaner because that stuff is very combustible. So I make sure the ultrasonic cleaner is turned down to 1, which is as low as it's gonna go, 1 Celsius, I think is what it says. And then I let it run for about 30 minutes. But I also I have a Harbor Freight parts cleaner over here. We'll just talk about what I do on carburetors now. So what I'll do, I'll come over here, flip this up, I'll clean it. This is actual parts cleaner solvent. We'll clean it up really good. And then my Berryman's is actually outside because it stinks so bad. And then after I clean all that there, blow it out with air, I'll take it and I'll throw it in my ultrasonic cleaner here. You can see there's a minimum line. I will have to get some more before I do run this. Put it in there and I let it set for 30 minutes, come out, dunk it in the water, clean it good, walk back over here to my solvent tank one more time, run through my solvent tank for real solvent, and then over here to my other solvent tank, which has a not near as harsh solvent in there. I clean all that out, blow it out with air, and then we go ahead over to my bench, rebuild it, and go through all the adjusting of the mixture screw. It's single carburetor, so there's no sinking, which is great. But we'll have to make sure the slide's good, not hard. Make sure the diaphragm on the accelerator pump is not hard. If that gets hard, then on acceleration, it doesn't squirt how it's supposed to on that first initial throttle input to help the motor rev up. So we'll go through all that stuff and we'll see what we can do for this thing. Hopefully, you know, I'll probably throw a little oil down the cylinder because like I said, this thing is set. Even though he has cranked it over, I like to put a little oil down there just in case some rings are sticky. And we'll pull the carburetor off this thing. I will throw some evapo rust into that tank. And I'll let it set for a day or two. We'll see how that comes out and see if we can't revive this 2006 Honda Rebel. Let's find out. Guys, we're gonna start off by go ahead and get the seats off this thing. It's got a couple 8mm head 6x10 bolts in the back. Get that guy out of the way. And then it looks like a couple 12s here, which I didn't bring a 12 with me. I know you guys are probably a little far back, but I don't have any room to really bring you super close to what's going on. We'll get a little more detailed as we pull off the carburetor and all that stuff. So I'll set these back here on my bench. Grab my little magnetic bowl. Now we'll go ahead and hit the gas tank up. That's a 12. And then we have a 10 on each side up front. I know I brought a 10 with me. Where did I leave it at now? At least I thought I did. I did. There it is. So this little guy here, we'll go ahead and take the shoulder out of there, the spacer. Same thing on this side. Pull the fuel line off, if I can get it to move. Make sure we got the gas turned off so it doesn't leak everywhere. There we go. Fuel line is off. Check for a vent hose. Pull that off. Tank just slides back and off. Watch your wires. Very simple. We'll set it over there. There is fuel in there, so I know we're definitely going to have to empty the fuel into a 5-gallon bucket. That way we don't have any issues. So next we'll go ahead and there's a choke over here that's going to come off, and then we got, should be a Phillips and 2 10mm bolts. I'll bring you guys a little bit closer to see all that. Maybe. So, good JIS screwdriver, Phillips head screw. We'll loosen that up nice. $10mm for the both pull cables for the return and throttle. I'll just take all this stuff off right here, that way we don't have to battle it now, or later I should say, not now. These are very, very simple machines to take care of and clean and everything. That's the best part about it. And all my slack is out at the top of the cable, throttle cables already. Now we need to have a 10mm here and a 10mm nut on the other side. God. Making a mess. Anyways. Might be kind of hard to see, but you got a 10mm nut here. Break that guy loose. I'll use a box in because it's a little tough. Let's get this choke cable out. That's a 14mm wrench. I actually need to probably shave down this 14mm wrench because I got a 12, I can shave the sides down. Makes it a lot easier to get in there and turn, especially with a thin wrench. Pull that off. vent hoses, overflow hose. Let's we'll go ahead and break this other 10mm nut loose back here. Box in. And I'll walk around to the other side, pull backwards on this carburetor to separate it from, hopefully to separate it. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes I might have to I'll probably have to heat the boot up back here and actually take it off. All right, got the heat gun out, guys. Turn it on high. And I'll just heat up this rubber boot back here a little bit. That way it's a little more pliable. We don't want to get crazy hot. We don't want to burn it or anything like that. We just want to make it pliable so we can kind of pull the carburetor back and off of the studs here. And we don't have to get, like I said, don't have to get too hot. This stuff gets pliable really, really fast. So just got to make sure we get around and not burn up the fuel. Let's see if that works. Ooh, it's still tough. Oh, I forgot. Completely forgot. I got to take this crossbar out on this, and that's what it is. Holy crap. I just did one of these not long ago either, and I completely forgot about that. So over here on this side, there's two 10mm nuts that hold like the battery bracket and a little cross member that runs across here. And I need to pull that out. So let me grab my 10. I'm like, why is it not moving? It usually slides back, and well, there you go, dummy. So that and that. Then we'll pull out this little cross member here. If I can get it out. There we go. This little guy here, it's got two 10mm bolts. It'll go back in. The accelerator pump was actually hitting that, so now we should be able to slide it back. Should, but it's still really, really hard on that boot. So let's grab a little bit of a pry bar. I don't like to do this very much, but especially on a sealing surface like this. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get it in and out. Ow. Move you guys back over here. "10 years of setting makes it really, hi kiddo, makes it really tough to get it in and out sometimes." My gosh, I haven't had one this tough in a long time. This thing should have came all out already. There we go. Woo. All right, carburetor's out now. Holy smokes. All right, we got the carburetor out. Let's take the spark plugs out real quick. We'll drop some oil down in the cylinders. We'll let that set. Like I said, he has turned it over before. Spark plugs are brand new, but we're still gonna drop some oil down in there. A generous amount. And I'll go to the other side, do that. And then, like I said, I'll show you the carburetor here in a second, but I'm not gonna show me cleaning it. I'm gonna take it over my parts washer, clean it off, take it apart, see what's going on the inside. I'll show you guys that. And then I'll take it over to my sonic cleaner, let it soak. I already have an all balls kit. I just wanna make sure the carburetor's clean. I always double check the jets. I've gotten jets before, even though they say they're one size, say they're a 40 Pilot, and then you check it to the OEM when it says a 40 and you look down in them, you can definitely tell the difference sometimes. So double check all your jets when you get a rebuild kit if they're not a factory Mikuni or Kian jet. All right, so I'm gonna take the other spark plug out and we'll walk over here and take a look at that carburetor. Let's take a look at the air filter before we walk over to that carburetor. Let's make sure this thing doesn't have a rat's nest. I don't remember if he said he put a new one in here or not. Definitely not a new one. It's not horrible. We're gonna run with it for now. We'll talk about maybe getting a new air filter after the fact. So that's good. It's good to see that that's not all eaten up by mice and everything. So we'll throw this back on here real quick, and then we'll go check out that carburetor. All right, if you check this thing out, you guys are looking towards me from the back of my bench. You can just see how nasty the inside is, and how dry. Look, it's all dried up right there. So I'm probably, accelerator pump's probably gonna be a little dry. I may have to order accelerator pump kit for this thing. I will have to take the float ball off and take the mixture screw all the way out. You can see the seal is a little dry, but I'm gonna put this in my parts washer first, just like it is, and I'm gonna clean the outside of it, and then I'll take this thing apart. All right, so we'll go ahead and start here with the accelerator pump. We'll check that out. Again, a good JIS screwdriver, definitely crucial in this. I'm gonna try to get you guys a decent angle. I'm sitting in my chair. Ooh, feels like somebody, all that was really loose. So somebody may have been in here in the past. Now there is a spring under tension in here with this cap closed. We gotta pay attention to that so we don't lose it. There we go. You can just see how nasty that is on the inside. Just disgusting. Let's try to get a little more light down here closer. I mean, nasty. Nasty, nasty. Nasty. Ooh, let's grab a pick. Try to get underneath that thing, make sure we don't destroy it. Ow, that was a knee. Man, this thing is stuck on there. I might have to order an accelerator pump for this thing. We'll check it when we get it out. Because boy, she seems like she might be stuck in there. Nope, there we go. It'll come out. Good deal. Come out, take this rubber stop off the back side. The next thing we're gonna have to do, now that's actually still pretty pliable, so we'll clean it up. And what I'm going to do, people might find this a little weird, what I'm going to do with this, now I'm gonna take a little grease, all right? I'm gonna grease these up. That way, while they're sitting here, they're not gonna dry out on me and get hard. So we'll put a little, this is waterproof grease of all things. It's probably not a good thing, but this is what I'm going to do. I do this on football gaskets and everything, and then I'll wipe it back down before I put it back together. But this way it helps me ensure that things are not gonna get out of control hard. That thing could dry out and get really, really hard. All right, guys, sorry, my GoPro overheated. So what we did, we took out the idle adjuster screw and spring. And then I loosened up the bolts there. We need to take out the cotter key that holds the accelerator pump actuator arm on. There we go. Washer, spring, cotter key. And you'll also have this little white piece that holds the spring on. There is a big side of the spring. Oh, where are we at here? There we go. A big side of the spring and a small side, so pay attention to that when you take it out. Big side to go back into the white piece. Let's pull this float bowl apart. Yeah, she looks pretty good. Pretty good. So let's pick out the float bowl gasket. It's actually still kind of pliable. That's a miracle. Probably just because it's so soaked. So we can't get it just to rip all the way out. So we got all that out. This will soak in our Berry Mins. I'll probably put it in there for 30 minutes, pull it out, and double check that. Let's see about this push pin for the float level arm. Now you can see, look at that, the float, not the float, but the needle is actually, the fuel needle stuck down the seat. That's the worrisome part. Popped right out with a little pressure, but it is definitely all nasty, rusted. And then I'll go in here with a wood shaft Q-tip with some Mother's aluminum polish or Brassol in my drill, and I will polish this after I soak it. I will polish that till it shines like a new dime. That way we know it's gonna have a good seating surface. You know, you're not so much worried about the sides of the seat as you are down where the needle actually touches on the front, you know, right here. You're not so much worried about the sides. You still want it all clean, but you want it really polished. Make sure there's no ridge around the needle. Make sure the needle's still pliable, and make sure there's no pits down at the bottom of the seat, and so that thing will seal up properly where it seats into. Let's take out, I can't even turn the mixture screw. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn, I'm not gonna count because I'm gonna reset this no matter what. I'm gonna take this all the way out, and I'll end up getting rid of this one and using the one from All Balls because I don't like this little piece here because I can't adjust it how I need to adjust it once this carburetor's been rebuilt. Doesn't mean it's gonna be back to what factory specs were, which would be 1, 2 turns out, 2.5 turns, but we adjust that by sound. Pull out the spring, spacer, and there's a rubber O-ring down in here. Takes a minute to fish out. Sometimes you can blow air through it and blow it out right away, but I will keep these around because I am notorious for dropping silly little things like that little washer, and then I'll have to go find one. And I keep all my old carburetor stuff. Well, that one does not want to come out just because I might need a screw. I might need emulsion tube off of something, you know, and you're better off, again, you're better off spending a couple $100 on a fresh OEM one if they're available than you already aftermarket ones from like Amazon. They're guaranteed to have problems. Let's grab, I think, a 7mm, a flathead. All right, well, I completely forgot my 7mm screwdriver because another shop just called me that I do a bunch of business for. They send me all types of referrals. Probably 90% of the work that came here came from Spokes Garage over here in Ozark, Missouri. Great bunch of guys. They do a lot of Harley stuff. Shout out to them. They're the ones who send me all these referrals. They do, you know, basic services. You know. In the area, need something, give them a holler at Spokes Garage here in Ozark, Missouri. But anyways, give them a little plug. Because boy, I tell you what, they send me work. So all right, let's get this mixture screw, or not mixture screw, the pilot screw out if we can get it, our pilot jet out if we can. Woo-wee. Sometimes you gotta soak these things just to get the jet out. You just see, look at that pilot jet. That thing would never ever work. I'll soak all the jets along with you know, the and stuff, but I probably will, you know, only in emergency. These things look really, really good when they're done soaking, but I won't reuse these jets, but I'll definitely check them compared to the All Balls. But I've had great luck with All Balls. I mean, most of you guys out there who probably use All Balls have had nothing but good luck with them. So you guys can see how everything is there. Again, just throw that down, which I'm great at. You can just see how rusty everything. I keep holding it up to the lens, but I need to hold it up to the not to the monitor part, not the lens. So anyways, so now I'm gonna go ahead and we'll pull the slide out, top off, slide it, spring out, and slide out. As long as this GoPro doesn't overheat again. Let's try to remember that goes to the top, which actually that would be that would go top right. Woo, man. That's what sitting will do. All right. You can see the spring and everything is stuck. The slide is stuck to the cap. I'm hoping the slide is not tore out. We can order more slides, but yeah, we're good. We're good there. Let's see if the needle is definitely stuck in the slide's definitely stuck down here. So we'll just go ahead and put a screwdriver in there, give it a little push, and you'll see like all the tarnish and varnish and all that junk. The vacuum slide, actually, the CV slide is actually really nice and clean. Not nice and clean, but nice and pliable still. Again, call me crazy, call me weird, but I throw a little grease on there. And like I said, I will clean all this off before I install it. I just do this to try to help these things not dry out on me, because these things will sit out here in the ambient air for quite a while. Come back in here, push that down and out, get all this stuff out. Make sure there's no rubber and no plastics left in this thing, because that Berryman's will eat it up or make it swell like crazy. And if there is, you can soak it for a little bit and make sure you clean it out very, very well. Now this thing here, I will just set inside that tank. I got a couple different baskets that go in there. They got one great big one. This will set in this, the float bowl, the accelerator pump bottom, all that. And I will take out this needle, and we'll make sure does it have a shim or doesn't have a shim on the bottom. Doesn't look like it has a shim. We'll double check inside here. No shim and no shim. You can just you might be able to see the varnish and tarnish on there. We'll clean that up. I usually don't use any other needle but the factory one, as long as it is cleanable and looks good. If it's bent, I will use an aftermarket one. Sometimes the taper, no matter how hard they try, the taper could be a little bit different. I know I'm rambling on about carburetors, but I'm just explaining all the things I've run across in the past. So let me grab my two little strainers. Get these at your local Dollar General store, and I will put all my brass in there, needle, even the float arm. Let's see. This guy I'll let sit down the bottom, and then I'll stack this on top. That way, if it does move, I don't lose anything. Down the bottom of my sonic cleaner. And again, you know, this thing has the mixture screw, the main jet, the pilot jet, needle. It has the spring for the mixture screw, the O-ring, and all that. Again, the part number for this one here is 26-1601. You know, it does say made in China, but All Balls I've had good luck with that, so I can't complain. They've been a good company. So I'm gonna go ahead and soak this stuff for about 30 minutes, check it, and it may have to go longer, it may have to go for an hour.
And that's starting now.
Don't know why my phone just did that, but anyways, let this soak for about 30 minutes in my ultrasonic cleaner. Of course, like I said, I turn it all the way down when it's not getting any temperature in it, getting hot, because that stuff is flammable, combustible, and evaporates very easy. So I'll throw this in there, and we'll come back to it in roughly 30 minutes to maybe an hour. And of course, again, like I said, after I take it out of there, goes to my parts cleaner, goes to my other parts cleaner, gets put in water, taken out, and everything gets blown out. And then we'll go ahead and reassemble it. Sitting here with this All Balls kit, throw it on that bike. We'll turn it over a few times with the oil in there. Might just do a compression check just to see what kind of compression it has, make sure the rings aren't sticking. But yeah, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of that evap rust into that gas tank and get that thing taken care of. No point in watching me do that. Just pour it in there, you shake it up, you know, make sure it's all empty, get the big chunks out with like nuts and screws and get all that stuff out, and then go ahead and do that evap rust in there for however long it needs to get all that rust off there. And every now and then you go back and shake it again so it gets everything, and then you got to clean it out really good before you install it. You don't want any rust going through, you don't want any water left in that thing, you don't want anything like that left in there. So let's get to soaking this carburetor and put it back together. All right guys, carburetor is soaking, evap rust is in there, we've got the gas out. Let's go ahead and check compression on these things real quick. So let's turn the key on, throttle wide open. Well, don't need throttle wide open. I don't have a carburetor on it. I'm just so used to doing that. All right, let's see what happens here. Look at that, 180 in the left cylinder. That's really good. I'm really impressed with that. So let's move over here to the right cylinder, to cylinder number 2. We'll get this out of here. Go ahead and throw this in cylinder number 2. If I can do it one-handed here. Let's try my right hand. There we go. There's that. All right. Put the camera in the mouth while doing it, why not? Let's see, try it again. There we go. And right at 176, something like that. So we got good compression on both cylinders. And this thing has been setting for 10 years. Now I did have oil in there. I had quite a bit of oil in there, so it's probably a little higher with the oil in there. When compression will go up sometimes when you put some oil. I didn't just put 1, 2, 3 or 4 drops. I put probably a good teaspoon in each cylinder to make sure this thing was lubed up. So that probably really helped shoot it up to 180. It's probably around 150 most likely, 160 maybe even. I mean, not really sure, but like I said, I put a lot of oil in there. So carburetor is soaking, evap rust is in the tank. We're gonna let that soak. And then when this thing's done, I'll clean it, go through my little process of cleaning the carburetor, and then we'll go ahead and reassemble it over here on my bench. And then we'll put it back together, see if the thing fires and runs. Of course, we're gonna run it off a IV bottle first. That tank's gonna take quite a while to clean out because it's pretty nasty. So next part, put this carburetor back together. All right guys, so now we got the carburetor back. It's been 30 minutes, maybe a little over 30 minutes. I was doing some other things, some paperwork. This is what the carburetor looks like now. 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, 30 minutes with the ultrasonic cleaner on and that Berryman's Chem Dip Carb Clean. You can see how clean that came out. This thing came out amazing. Again, I pre-washed it in my solvent tank, rinsed it off, put it in the Berryman's, let it go for about 30 minutes on the ultrasonic, and then about 15 more minutes sitting there while I did some paperwork, took it out, cleaned it in my solvent tanks, put it in water, and blew it out. You can see how clean that is. Check out the jets. The jets turned out amazing. I forgot to put the pilot in there, so it's running right now. But here's the float bowl. Turned out great. And then the accelerator pump cover turned out really good too. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go ahead and reassemble the carburetor with the parts out of this. Again, main jet probably, pilot jet, and the mixture screw I'll use out of this kit because I just want them to be perfect on this, and the float bowl gasket along with the fuel needle out of this kit. So let's jump in, slap this thing back together, get some of this grease off these slides and the diaphragm for that, and get this thing back together. All right, again, got the carburetor all clean. Let's grab the slide. Actually, we'll leave the slide for last. Let's go ahead and grab our float bowl gasket out of our kit here. It's a hot day, man. I got the fan blowing over here towards me. If anybody wants to sponsor the channel with a mini split, please let me know. I would love it. All right, so we got our pilot jet, and that is a, man, I can't even see what it says. I'm old. I'm too old. This is 38. Let's check our pilot jet is out there in the cleaner yet. Nope, here it is. So there's the pilot jet after cleaning it yesterday. And pilot jet here says that is the 38 also. Compare my two holes. And this pilot jet is actually still clogged, so good thing we got a new one. Go ahead and throw the pilot jet down in here. We're just reversing basically the order we had put everything back together. All right, had a customer walk in and show up. All right, so anyways, we'll get the pilot jet back in here. Let me just double check a couple things because I don't feel like it's going down quite as far as the other one was, but it might be. Double check the distance on the threads. Yeah, we're all good. We are all good. It's all good. Pilot jet down there. Grab our little brass piece for the, I honestly I keep forgetting the name of this little guy for the needle. This is like where the needle sits down, and we'll make sure that gets lined up square in that hole, and then you can start threading in the emulsion tube. You don't want to tighten it crazy tight, just a little bit. Grab our new main jet, double check the size on that. It says that's a 108, and what's the one that came stock in it? And a 108. Holes look good, so we'll use a new main jet. What I should have did before I did this, which is not a big deal, is actually polish up that seat right there real quick. Like I said, I got the wood shaft Q-tips. I just break them in half like this. I got some Mother's aluminum polish from God knows when. And I'll just put it in the tip of my drill. Get a little bit on the end. And I'll just go in here and I'll make sure I polish that seat out. You don't want to push really hard left and right because you'll snap that. But you just want to let the polish do its own thing. Like I said, some brass cleaner, aluminum polish. You just don't want something crazy abrasive. See how I broke that by getting probably got a little too tight on the Q-tip itself. So I just kind of switch back and forth. Let it do what it's supposed to do, turn black, kind of move it around. Like I said, your main goal is to get the bottom to where the needle seals, but you also want to try to get the sides. And you can come up here and do the top too. You can polish that up really good if you want. And then we'll just take some brake clean, spray it down in there, blow some air back through the gas line. Got some brake clean over here. Oh man, all my air stuff right here. Very simple. New fuel needle. Close up that polish real quick. Floats have been cleaned. They got a little bit of tarnish on there. You got to scratch pretty good to get some of that off. I'm not too worried about that coming off. I mean, I'm pushing pretty hard. Sometimes you can get it, just barely do it, but I'm not too worried about this coming off and clogging anything because honestly, it's on there really good. I tried to clean it, hit it with a few different things, but I don't want to sit here and spend the time trying to scratch every single little bit of that off. Floats in. They're plastic, pre-adjusted, can't fix if it's off, which it shouldn't be being plastic unless the plastic gets warped. Get that bad boy through, and what we can do, like I said, I'm not going to use this particular fuel needle. I'm going to use our mixture screw. I'm going to use this one here. It's got a little bit more of a sharper taper, so it's probably not going to need to come out quite as far as this one would. But this way here I can adjust. This one I can't really adjust too far on the bike. You'd only get a few little turns with that knob piece right there. This one here is completely round, so I'll be able to actually turn it out as far as I would like to. So let's get the new shim, our washer and O-ring. They actually packed two of them in this one. So spring, washer, O-ring. Go ahead and put the mixer screw in, and we'll just screw that all the way down until it lightly seats. Okay, now it's touching. I'm gonna back it out probably one, maybe, say 2 turns. So that's 1, half, 2. We'll start at 2 and we'll adjust it from there once it's on the unit. New float bowl gasket. Now remember, we got to get this guy up, and this guy will come through over here as this goes back on. Got some new bolts, which is great, or new screws. I know this is really exciting to watch. I mean, you guys got to be just like hooping and hollering, so happy to see this. I lightly seat most of the time my screws, and then I'll go around and tighten them back up. That way we can look and double check that our float bowl gasket is not hitting anything, it's being pinched, any of that junk. There's that. Let's get this little rubber piece goes over the top here where the accelerator pump arm for the diaphragm would go. Probably should have put that on before I put the float bowl on. All right, get that on there. That's on there. There we go. And then we have, like I said, this white collar will go on. That sets down in here. The big end of the spring, there's big end and the small and big end will go down into the collar. We'll push it down, grab our washer. Actually, there's supposed to be a washer at the bottom of that too, sorry. If I can get this guy to seat back down in there for me. Washer. Sorry guys, my battery went dead there. Washer down here because I forgot to do that. Didn't realize it was not recording. Washer up here, spring, big way, the same cotter key or a new one, whether it works. Get that bad boy there. Find our accelerator pump. Clean the grease off of this guy. Now I'm going to put just a little bit on the shaft just so it has a little bit to slide. It's a little bit corroded. We can take a piece of Scotch-Brite I got up here, and what I'll do, I'll just kind of just clean it up a little bit. That way it's smooth actuation. And I'll still take just a tiny pinch of grease, put it on that shaft so it goes through this rubber piece really good. Reinstall it through here. Hold the rubber down here, make sure it lines up and goes through. There we go. Spring. And the cover. Now it didn't come with new screws for this one, so we'll end up using the same old ones. Wherever I put those at, here they are. 3 of them. Actually, nope, those are the wrong ones. Those are the top. There it is. Show this. There's one. 2. And 3. Let's grab our idle adjuster screw. Run this until it just touches. And then I'll watch and I'll let it open up just a little bit. So that looks good. So we got, like I said, I'm not going to use this particular needle from the set. It does have a little bit of a different taper than what the stock one does, so I don't want to run into any runnability issues there. It's a little bit thinner over here compared to this one. So we'll throw this guy back in. It did not have a shim. Fun part now. Guess I could probably get a 7mm socket, but it seemed like it balances pretty good. Oh my gosh. Might take me 10 years to do this. All right, let's see if we can't get the stick back on the needle then. Never lucky enough to do that. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. I can't balance it. GoPro stopped recording. I figured I'd save you the pain and suffering and watch me try to do that after struggling like that. Should have just got a socket. Made my life easier. Clean all the grease off the diaphragm. I mean, you guys should, take it apart, put it back together the same way you took it apart. It's pretty simple that way. And then the top, this one here, sometimes they have one that lines up with this little guy here, but it doesn't look like this one's gonna have that. But I'll look for the spot where it was originally lined up on here, and we'll slap it back together that way. That way we're not missing anything. It's exactly the same way. It's got a little cut. Match that corner up. We'll grab the 4 new screws. And then we'll go ahead and finish putting these in, and then I'll install this thing back in the motorcycle off camera, so save you guys some pain and suffering. No point in watching that. Same way it came out. Probably difficult because of that hard intake boot. But we'll reinstall this guy, O-ring, reinstall this guy, throw some new gas to it, put some fresh gas in that thing, run off an IV bottle, and then we'll talk about adjusting the mixture screw a little bit and what to listen for and see how this thing runs. All right guys, carburetor's back installed. We got our IV bottle hooked up here. I think I'm about 2.5 turns out on the mixture screw. Choke's hooked up, most of the play's out of the throttle. 10 years since this thing started. It does have fresh oil in it. I did change it off camera. Brand new oil, spark plugs that he installed. I have some more on the shelf. Air filter's good. So we know the engine is sound. Let's see if this thing fires up. He's got a new battery in it. Whoa, turn that idle up a little bit. I'm not even on choke. Turn up a little bit more. Try some choke. Whoa. man, whoa. I know it ain't raining a hot minute, so let's not choke it to death here. Idle definitely needs to be turned up on it though. But she fired right up, that's impressive. All right. So she won't run on off a choke at the moment. Again, I may have to turn this idle screw in a little bit more. I don't want to go too crazy far. Let's adjust that mixture screw maybe out a little bit. Let some more fuel flow into it. So we're at 2.5, I believe, 3.5, which is pretty far. It does take throttle. We are off the choke. Idle's a little high. Bring that down a little. All right, we'll let this thing kind of run for a minute and kind of warm up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll chase down the mixture screw issue, because we want to do this mixture screw when it's warm. You don't when it's cold, because it'll change. We're kind of far out. We're like 3.5 turns out, which is a little far. I can hear it stuttering just a smidge. But again, that could be just due to the mixture screw. Let's see if I can adjust it a little bit. Well, I know I should do it when it's warm, but let's see if we can't figure out what's going on here. That's 4, I don't like that. There's 3.5, 3, you can hear it drop. 2.5, 2, back out 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. That's really far out. That's really far out. But I can tell the accelerator pump's working. Let's grab a heat gun, check both exhausts to see how close they are, to make sure it's not a plug going out. So number 2 cylinder is at, it's only showing me 114. 127, 119. So we got spark there. I can hear that. So we'll make sure it's running on both cylinders. Probably shock myself. And we got spark over here. So we're good on both of those. So I'll let it warm up for a minute. We'll go back in. We'll adjust that mixture screw a little bit. After it warms up for about 5 or 10 minutes, we want it nice and hot. This is fresh gas. So I'm gonna hang it up a little bit higher. Make sure it's flowing good, gas line's full. So we'll let it warm up here and we'll come back to that mixture screw. All right guys, so I got the new tires mounted on the rear. We just ran the Shinko there and then another one on the front. Now, remember this is the front is an 80 by 100. I had a 90 by 100, but it actually hits the fenders on the inside because he had a 90/90 on there. And my guy down the street only had an 80 or had a 90/100 in stock, and it didn't fit. So 80/80 in front and 80/80 what? Like what was that? Set 80/80. It's 80. Oh my gosh! An 80 by 100 by 18 for the front. Tank has been creamed. It's been cleaned out, etched out, everything like that. It took like 4 days for this thing to actually get all the rust out of it, and then another like 3 days for the cream inside there, the coating to dry. So I'm gonna throw you guys on the stand here. We're gonna take a sample of the gas. I literally just put gas in it a minute ago. I wanna make sure it's coming out clean. Might be hard to get an angle here. Let's see if the petcock is working at all. We're gonna turn it on. There we go. Coming out nice. Nice and smooth, nice and, oh, well, there's a, oh no, I just got that flying there a minute ago. Must have caught him just a minute. So let's hook the fuel line up. I have adjusted the mixture screw. I think it's about 2 3/4 turns out is where we're at. So let's go ahead and turn this back on, make sure the carburetor doesn't leak. We'll fire this up and it's pretty much ready for the ride after that. Now the next thing I need to do, I will need to, I do have the entire rear fender here on order. I gotta get to put this thing back in there real quick. This whole entire piece is on order. It should be here shortly, but power does work, the blinkers work, everything like that works. So that's a positive there. The chain is kind of still a little rusty. I might try to throw some more lube on that. I might actually throw some off-road on it because it's kind of nasty still. But let's go ahead and try to fire this thing up and see what happens here. Neutral light is on. No choke. Turn the choke on a little bit. Okay, how about no choke? Yeah, it doesn't even want to start with the choke on because it's pretty much, the mixture screw's pretty much 100% correct. You know, I have to take it for a ride. We're gonna let it run on the tank for a little bit. You can kind of hear it's a little small, rough idle. Let's try to bump that choke up a little bit. Actually kills it. So, all right. Yeah, I probably got to get in here and readjust that mixture screw a little bit. I'll sit here, let it idle, let it warm up. You always want to adjust the mixture screw warm, and this one sticks out pretty good. So we're gonna let it run here off camera, let it get nice and warm. I'm gonna tape this on here so I can at least take this thing for a ride, and then let's bring you guys along so we can see what's going on. All right, guys, I got you on the helmet. Bike's running. Double check the mixture screw. Everything seems good since we got it warmed up now. Hopefully you got a good view. Let's get this thing off the lift. Take it for just a short spin. I don't have a whole in this thing. Maybe a gallon if we're lucky. And again, you're in my helmet, so it's probably really, really loud. All right, let's see. Check the brake. Feels good. Front brake feels good. Mirror's all messed up. Okay. It's been 10 years since this thing's been on the road. We got 0 miles on the odometer. And here we go. We're off. Slide my windscreen down there. Well, we're in neutral. A little too much play in the throttle for my taste. Boy, it seems like the shifter's sticking though. Might need a little lube on that bad boy. We'll check this thing out. Well, wait, actually we should go down to the dead end road here in case we can't shift. Oh yeah, it's shifting, so let's turn in here, let's get this helmet strapped on all the way. And we will just keep rolling. Yeah, it's gonna definitely need some lube down there. Some grease on that shift shaft, on the linkage and stuff. Let me buckle my helmet. Okay, close the face shield. All right, 0.2 miles already. Had to pretty much kick the shifter. Feels good, but that shifter definitely needs lots of lube. I'm using my heel to shift it. Sorry again if it's loud. I really need to break down and get chin mount for my new KYT helmet. So we're cruising 45 miles an hour right now, which is the speed limit on this road. We'll do my regular route. We'll go up here, we'll go through the neighborhood over here. Won't go too far, but again, it's because I didn't put a bunch of gas in this thing at all. Not very often somebody's walking down this road. All right. Wide open. Feels pretty good at speed. Again, it's a CMX Rebel 250, so it's not like it's going to be flying down the road. I'm watching the shifter takes a minute or two to come back up. So get back, we'll spray some WD-40 on that thing. We'll check it out, make sure it doesn't need any grease. My guess is this thing was living its life outside. But I mean, heck, it's what, 2024, and this thing has sat for 10 years, and it's got 13,000 miles on it. 13,315.4. Tell you what, for a 6'5", 260-pound man, it's a rough ride on this little boy. But the motor runs good. High beam on. Nobody at the pool today. No spit and sputter and backfiring. Runs good. Runs really, really well. I mean, granted, we only went 3 miles, but it's way too hard to take for a longer ride with the shifter all messed up. So we're going to pull it up on the lift. I'm going to spray the shifter down. Beautiful. Put her in neutral. Throw it on a side stand. Sweet. Everything felt really good. Brakes felt good. Acceleration was nice, no hesitation. Blinkers work, headlight works, taillight works. We're getting into license plate light stuff, as we had said in the past. Just gonna lube up that deal, and hopefully this thing can go home as soon as that rear light comes in. Let me get this helmet off. Throw this mic back on. Hopefully you guys had an okay view. I'm hoping, but you just never know. You never know. I worked on a little bit, trying to get that better view. I'm tired, I'm wore out. I almost forgot to do the rest of the video on this thing. I mean, some of y'all probably just don't care. Get the GoPro off of here. Watch this video. I mean, I thought it'd be kind of cool. See if we can resurrect this thing after setting 10 years, which I know, pretty much knew I'd be able to. I mean, I knew it was just probably gonna be a carb clean. You know, carburetor cleaner rebuild. Air filter was good. New spark plugs, new front and rear tire with tubes. Basically the rear brake, it was just rusted down here. Took that off, cleaned it up, lubed it up. He put a new battery on it. Had to use, I used Evaporust, and it did pretty good, but I had to get another kit from the cream kit and go ahead and let it set for like 4 days. I had to let this thing set till that rust got out of there, man. It was really bad. Got the rust out, did the cream out on that. I just hit the side of my leg and scratched the crap out of it. Let's see, and I just gotta lube up the shifter and all that. No oil leaks anywhere. It has a fresh oil change, all that stuff. Rode it 3 miles, runs good. I don't know, I'm wore out today. I'm tired. I gotta leave here in a few days to go to Ohio for the shoot. We haven't been there since like 2012 for the races. Guys, I hope you liked this video. You know, like I said, it's been set in 10 years. The guy said, hey, can you get it running for me? Get rid of the black line maybe somewhere. It's part of the LED lights. But anyways, it's been set in 10 years. Asked me if I could get it running for him. If I could, there we go. Up, running, fork seals aren't leaking. Yeah, they're not leaking. I had to double check after my big butt was on it. You guys, you know, short little video, good little video, 10 years, back on the road, saved another bike. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So I did end up acquiring a 2012 Suzuki RMZ 250. It's gonna have a complete motor build. The video is gonna be out before this one. And basically, the customer didn't want to fix it, so I bought a new kit for it, bought it from him, nice price. You guys will see that video after this one. But again, guys, if you got any questions about motorcycles, ATVs, or UTVs, feel free to drop a comment below. You can find me on Facebook at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. You can find me on TikTok at Limitless Power Sports Sir and Rep. You can also send me an email at limitlesspowersports78@gmail.com. Again, guys, I appreciate you tuning in, and thank you to all the 4,000, almost 200 subscribers now, man. Things are going up and up. Look out for more videos coming out soon on a few other units that are around here. Guys, appreciate it. Everybody that subscribes and comments, and I'll catch you on my next upload.